6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Dulmin Samratsinghe and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. A meeting takes place between the President and the Japanese ambassador. A draft bill will be introduced to amend the Criminal Procedure Code. District secretaries instructed to increase crop production by establishing food security committees. A clear economic stability is expected by next year. Samagi Janabalwege says price controls will lead to an artificial shortage of goods. Foreign news, Thai court suspends Prime Minister and coup leader. Sports, Sri Lanka team leaves for the Asia Cup T20 cricket tournament. News in detail. A meeting took place between President Ranil Wickremesinghe and Japanese ambassador in Sri Lanka, Mizukoshi Hideaki, this morning at the Presidential Secretariat. The ambassador extended greetings after Naruhito to the president and exchanged views with him. The president's media division said discussions took place on the 70th anniversary of the late President J.R. Javadanu's speech at San Francisco Summit and the commemorative program organized by the Sri Lanka Rupawahini Corporation on the 6th of next month. Meanwhile, the draft bill to amend the Criminal Procedure Code has been handed over to the President today. The amendments will be introduced to protect the rights of the local LGBTQ community. MP Premanath Dolawatha handed over the draft bill to the President. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunadhana has instructed district secretaries to increase the crop production by establishing food security committees at village level within the next 100 days. He said that the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank has come forward to assist Sri Lanka. The Prime Minister instructed the district secretaries to prepare plans from the grassroots level upwards and to use new technology to gather data for the success of the program. He instructed them to get the participation of the people and the private sector to prepare the food security program. The Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, says that a clear economic stability can be expected by next year. He said that steps will be taken to make necessary reforms to maintain the stability of the economy. He further said that the economy of the country has been affected as necessary measures had not been taken at the proper time. Dr. Veerasinghe said the aim is to achieve the target by debt restructuring, reforms and through the success of the IMF program. He further said that proper fiscal management can be done by restructuring foreign debt more than the local debt. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Samagi Janabalwege MP Eran Wickremathne says price controls and issuing of gazettes will lead to an artificial shortage of goods. During a media briefing today at the opposition leader's office, he said demand and supply should be allowed to determine the prices of goods. He said that the government should understand controlling a price through a gazette is an outdated method since there is a market economy in the country. Social activist Dan Priyasad and MPs Sanath Nishantha and Milan Jayatilaka have been ordered to hand over their mobile phones to the Criminal Investigations Department for further investigations on the violent incidents on May 9th. They are named as suspects in the attacks on anti-government demonstrators outside the temple trees in Kollupitiya and the protest site at the Golface Green. They were produced before the Colombo Fort Magistrates Court today. The magistrate ordered the suspects to be held in the custody of the court until their mobile phones are given to the CID. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Acting Secretary-General of Parliament Kushani Rohanadira stated that President Ranil Wickremesinghe, in his capacity as the Minister of Finance, Economic Stability and National Policies, is to present the second reading of the Appropriation Amendment Bill on the 30th of August. This decision was taken at the Committee on Parliamentary Business, chaired by the Deputy Speaker of the Parliament, Ajith Rajapaksa, this morning. Accordingly, on August 30th, Parliament is scheduled to convene at 1 p.m. and the President is to present the second reading of the Appropriation Amendment Bill, following which the Parliament will be adjourned. The debate on the second reading of the Appropriation Amendment Bill will be held on the 31st of August and September 1st from 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. without a lunch break. Furthermore, on September 2nd from 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., the second reading of the Appropriation Amendment Bill will be debated, following which the bill is scheduled to be passed after the committee stage and the third reading. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sidhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
In Watchlight, Minister Kanchana Wijesekara said a special fuel pass will be introduced for tourists from next month. He said the move aims to cater to the increasing number of tourist arrivals in the country with the commencement of the tourist season. The minister added that the tourist fuel pass will be made available from the first week of next month. And that came to you in Watchlight.
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
Moving on to a bulletin of world news and in the headlines. Thai court suspends Prime Minister and coup leader. Passengers struck for hours inside Euro Tunnel. Elton John gives a diner's preview of Britney Spears' first music since 2016. World news in detail. Thailand's top court has suspended Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha from official duty while it considers a legal challenge to his term limit. Opposition parties have filed a case arguing that Mr. Prayut, in charge since 2014, has overstayed his tenure. Thailand's constitution limits prime ministers to 8 years in office. The ex-army chief first seized power in 2014 military coup and then retained office in 2019 under a heavily restricted election. Dozens of people left stranded for hours inside the Channel Tunnel after a train from Calais to Folkestone appeared to have broken down. Footage emerged showing Eurotunnel, the shuttle passengers being evacuated through an emergency service tunnel after having to abandon their vehicles. They were eventually transferred to a replacement train and taken to the Folkestone terminal in Kent. A Eurotunnel spokesman said services were now back to normal. Sir Elton John has given French diners a preview of Britney Spears' first new music since the conservatorship running her life was lifted last year. Sir Elton has recorded a duet with Spears called Hold Me Closer, which will be released on Friday. However, he couldn't resist sharing the track with the patrons of the restaurant in Cannes last night. After approaching the restaurant's DJ, he sang along with the track, streaming the reaction on his Instagram page. Back to the headlines of the world news. Thai court suspends Prime Minister and coup leader. Passengers struck for hours inside Euro Tunnel. Elton John gives diners preview of Britney Spears' first music since 2016. And that ends world news. On to development news. Hyundai Motor Company has entered into an agreement with Sri Lanka's Abans Auto, authorizing the reputed local automotive retailer to assemble the manufacturing Hyundai automobiles and component under license in Sri Lanka. The proposed assembly plant for Sri Lanka has been designed by Hyundai and incorporates the latest technologies, tools and equipment that conform to Industry 4 standards. Abans partners with Hyundai is to set up complete knockdown vehicle assembly plant that would utilize locally manufactured components developed and manufactured to Hyundai's stringent quality standards. And that ends development news.
Sports news is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
In cricket news, Sri Lankan cricket team led by Dasun Shanaka will leave today for the Asia Cup T20 cricket tournament, which will commence on Saturday in the UAE. The right-arm fast bowler Dushmantha Chamira, the main strike bowler has been ruled out of the Sri Lanka Asia Cup squad with a leg injury. He has been replaced by Nuwan Tushara in the 18-man squad. Sri Lanka announced their squad on Saturday, minus Binura Fernando and Kasun Rajitha, who are also nursing injuries. An uncapped 21-year-old left-arm seamer, Dilshan Madhushankar, has found a place in the squad. Another notable inclusion in the squad is Ashin Bandara, who last represented Sri Lanka in July 2021 in a T20 international against India. Also returning to the T20 team is the experienced Dinesh Chandimal, Dhananjay De Silva and Jeffrey Van der Say. The Asia Cup 2022 was scheduled to be held in Sri Lanka, but due to the present economic crisis in the country, the venue changed to the UAE, but Sri Lanka will remain hosts for the tournament. And that ends sports news.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSP U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
In business news, Hutch, in an industry-first initiative, commenced a major electric bikes assistance program for its distribution partners to overcome the challenges of the present mobility-constrained environment. The initiative will see Hutch deliver over 200 electric bikes to its distribution network to ensure the continued availability of its mobile products at over 75,000 retail points across the country. And that was business news.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSP U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
In economic news, the government is planning to reduce the budget deficit to 6.8% of the gross domestic product in 2023. Cabinet spokesman Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that the government is planning to cut the budget deficit to 6.8% of the gross domestic product in 2023 from an expected 9.9% in 2022. He said the Cabinet of Ministers approved a fiscal framework for 2023-2025. And that was economic news.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
In the weather report, the Met Department says showers will occur at times in the western, Sabragamuwa and northwestern provinces and in the Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Mathura districts. Showers or thunder showers will occur at a few places elsewhere during the evening or night. Showers may occur in the northern province during the morning. That was the weather report, and to end this news broadcast, back to the headlines. A meeting takes place between the President and the Japanese ambassador. A draft bill will be introduced to amend the Criminal Procedure Code. District secretaries instructed to increase crop production by establishing food security committees. A clear economic stability is expected by next year. Samagijana Balvege says price controls will lead to an artificial shortage of goods. Foreign news, Thai court suspends Prime Minister and coup leader. Sports, Sri Lanka team leaves for the Asia Cup T20 cricket tournament. And with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Back to Chandima Veerakon on the other side to keep you company until the end of transmission. Over to you, Chandima.